Yep, Formula One management have decided to put a claim on my video and block it worldwide. Now, to be fair to them, I do think that the graphics I use in the video belong to them, and that even though they're in the game, they were only licensed to Codemasters to put them in the game, and not for people like me to put it up in my videos on the internet. So, I mean, I wasn't commentating during the graphics anyway, so it's a quick fix. I took them out of the video, and yeah. Here's a picture of something funny which I'll think of later when I'm editing the video. So, with all that being said, here is part 2 of my career mode. Enjoy!
Is this the one?
Indeed it is. And this is Jonathan. He's going to let you drive some of his cars.
Well, not quite my cars, per se. It's a mere detail. You know, I'd really rather be down there racing them myself, to be honest. I'm actually quite handy behind the wheel, but it's the downforce, those lateral Gs, you know? The old neck can't really handle it. So I need a pro. And that's where you come in. We run in a bunch of events throughout the year. Time trials, races, all sorts. And I have it on good authority that you have the ability and temperament to do well in these. Make our business look good, and most importantly, bring the cars back in one piece. So consider this a formal invitation. I'll see you at the track.
Now,
Hello everyone! That was Jonathan, as you heard. He's going to let us drive some of his classic cars. Now, I really love what Cody's have done here. They've actually integrated the classic cars into the career mode. So they're not just a feature, they're actually part of the career mode. So we've either got the overtake challenge or the pursuit. We're going to do the pursuit because I really want to drive that Renault R26. It's such a, well, classic car that, you know, I just really want to get my hands on it, see what I can do in it, and just see how this goes. So, yeah, props to Codemasters for actually making the classic cars relevant to the game modes, as well as just being an added-on feature, you know, for use in free play. There's actually something you can do with them within your career mode, so, you know, yeah, that's really cool. And, yeah, so, we're gonna see how we get on in this pursuit challenge.
Here we are then, the calm before the storm, as we wait for this field of iconic cars to burst into life for the historic invitational event today. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to be here, and welcome along to all of you at home as well. So grab a cup of tea and get ready as our competitors make their final preparations.
Sorry about that, I ended that sentence on a bit of a weird tone, shall we say. So anyway, the goal is to finish in first place. Everyone else is in a slower classic car. We have the fastest one. They get a bit of a head start. And our goal is to win the race in the course of 3 laps. So here we go. 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're way off the line. So this car seems to bog down a bit off the line. That was quite a slow getaway. But hopefully we can make up for it in the corners, because basically this is on the Japan short circuit, so it's basically Sector 1 of Suzuka. That's all it is, it's Sector 1. So you've got the SS section here, which Codemasters have revamped for this game. They've remade the track from scratch to give particularly this section a lot more undulation than it's had before on previous games. So yeah, that really is the whole lap. There's Sector 1, you come out here at the end of Sector 3, and that's it, that's the whole lap. It's a very short lap, about 40 seconds really, and we haven't really caught up with anyone just yet, and if we don't hurry up, then we're not going to win this race. So, the first person we've got to overtake is Michalski. I believe he's in a 1992 Williams, although do correct me if I'm wrong on that, and we're coming through here at quite a rate this time, because I know how the car feels at this point, how it works. So I feel a lot more confident coming through. And there is Michalski just in front of us, only 1.3 seconds ahead. But look at the time we've gained on him in Sector 1. The problem is we're coming onto the final lap and we're still in last place. So it's not looking good for this win at the moment. Now that is the goal, to win the race. So we've got to get past Michalski ASAP, ASAP indeed, and we're going to go down his inside into this first corner here, and we've got him, and so yeah, get a bit of a warning for a collision with him. We've got third and second to get past next, but it just looks like the win is too far away from us. So we've got Sari and Kaufman running pretty much side by side, not side by side, but you know, in single file. If we get past Sari, we've got Kaufman, we can go up his inside, but there's Atiye, sorry, and we haven't got him. So it's second place in the pursuit challenge, which is a bit frustrating, but at the end of the day, this is just a bit of fun. It's nothing too serious, you know, like the actual races in the episode. So yeah, that was just a bit of fun. Unfortunately, we failed, but yeah, that's the end of that. We get an achievement for completing an invitational event, Blast from the Past it was called. And yeah, as you can see from the loading screen there, next up is China. For those of you who didn't watch it, we came second somehow in the Australian Grand Prix. I'd advise that you go watch that. Now, what I'm going to do with the practice sessions from here on in is basically give you the results of each practice session without really showing you much of what happens. I feel like it takes up way too much time to show you all the resource point thingies, majiggies, if you like, you know, me trying to get all of them, like the track acclimatization, all those sorts of things. So I feel like that takes too long. So what I'm going to do is just show you the results of each practice session and show you like how many resource points I've got on, and from there it'll be much easier. If you look at the power unit, already the internal combustion engine is, you know, getting quite worn. The rest of it looks okay at the moment, but I don't think this internal combustion engine will last to Bahrain. It might last the weekend, you know, the race as well, but we're definitely going to have to change it before Bahrain at the very least. So, yeah, without further ado, you can see we're drawing the driver rivalry. Let's head out to practice 1 and see how many resource points we can get. So we did a perfect track acclimatization and perfect tyre management. So, you know, in terms of the first practice session, we got our maximum number of resource points that we went for. In terms of where we came in the practice session, 18th place, but again, I was only going for resource points. I wasn't actually going for anything like fastest lap or anything like that. I leave that till usually practice 3 and, of course, the qualifying sessions as well. So heading on into practice 2 now, we did a perfect race strategy and we completed fuel saving, but we really struggled to get it into the purple there. So in the end, I gave up on that. So we get 80 of the 100 practice points available from those two, and we come 19th this time. It was a faster time, but a lower grid position. And finally, we headed into practice 3 to do our qualifying pace practice thing. Now, as you can see, it's actually raining here, and you know, I actually completed the qualifying. I did a lap, but as for the qualifying pace, it started raining. Which I wasn't expecting, and look at the delta. I'm, you know, 6/10 off the target lap time, and I don't think I'm actually going to get in my qualifying lap time. I come around this corner, and look, I just cannot carry the speed that I want to through it, and now we're 6/10 down, and we're just going to have to abort the lap, because I'm not going to get my target lap time. So unfortunately, in practice 3, we failed the qualifying lap time, because it started raining before I was ready to go out. And yeah, qualifying pace, we miss out on those 50 resource points, which absolutely sucks. So, we've been held back a little bit in our car development there. And car development on this game takes a long time anyway. It's going to take multiple seasons to get this Renault up the grid. So, it's really gutting whenever you lose resource points like that. Our fastest lap, because we did do a lap, we did a 1:38.9, but I only used that as a banker. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to get in the qualifying time, so we ended up pretty much in... Actually, no, we ended up in 16th, but still 1.1 seconds behind Nico Hulkenberg. Hopefully, we can improve that going into qualifying, because at the moment, it's looking pretty bad. This is the amount of resource points we got from that as well. We've got about 425. Voicemail.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
So I qualify 8th! 8th place! They want me to get 8th place! Well, you certainly can't deny that Renault are optimists. 8th place, that's mad. Look at our power unit as well. I'm going to use it for qualifying. I am going to change the internal combustion engine for the race, though, because I'm just not going to get, you know, a race out of that. I will break down. So, anyway, without further ado, 8th place. Hell of a target, but let's see what we can do. So it's time now that we headed into the qualifying set.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China. This has been an exciting track in times gone by, and typically it entertains the moment the lights go out.
It's the scene of many incidents as drivers jostle for position. You have to make a choice between going for it and self-preservation. There's no point in going in hot if you don't come out intact the other side. Even if you're at the front, you will be worrying about the guys behind you.
Alright, so we're going to head out into qualifying. I'm just going to make sure we've got the right setup on. Yes, we do. And hopefully we can get at least into Q2. That's my personal target. I want to get into Q2. I'm not sure P8 is possible. Especially seeing as China is my worst track. I should add that. You know, I am very, very bad at China. We're coming around the corner now. This is our first timed lap that we're doing. It's a 1:37.2, so our best lap of the weekend by a mile. And actually, if you look at the screen, it's starting to rain. So it looks like we've got that lap in just in time. So hopefully now, with the 1:37.2 and with the rain starting to come down, we should at least be safely into qualifying 2. Where did we end up? Our teammate got 10th. Where did we get? 16th? We got knocked out in Q1, lads, by 5,000ths of a second. 5,000th of a second is what we got knocked out in by Esteban Ocon. 1:37.205 to my 1:37.210. We're out in Q1, lads. Disaster. Absolute disaster. We're just going to have to hope that we can get a beastly start tomorrow. I don't know how they managed to beat my time with the rain coming down, but they did, so, you know. On with the race, I guess. So this is the amount of resource points we got. We ended up with 476, which unfortunately isn't enough. We needed 500 to increase the durability, which was what I was going to go for next. How we're doing in the rivalry, we're only 1 behind Nico Hulkenberg, so we're still well in the hunt. And if we can get a good race result, then we should be at least drawing with him after the race, although hopefully we'll be beating him. That's, you know, the aim, to beat our rival. In the team approval, we've gone down, and we've also gone down a bit in the driver reputation level amongst the other teams. But I don't really care about the other teams right now. We're trying to get Renault up to the top. I won't be leaving. So, voicemail again.
Hi, guess who? I've seen the team's expectations for the race, so I thought I'd pass them on and wish you luck. Take care.
Let's hope these are more realistic. Okay, 11th place. That's a lot more realistic. I do feel like I can pull that out if I drive well. So, before we actually get into the race, of course, we're going to increase, hopefully, the durability. Yes, we do have the points. No, we don't. Sorry, we don't have the points for that. We still need another 24 points, so we've been held back, like I say, with our R&D, and we are going to change the internal combustion engine, because quite frankly, I'll break down with that internal combustion engine. You know, that is worn ridiculously, so I'll have to try and take better care of my future ones. Even the other components are starting to go now, so I've really got to be a bit more careful with my engine wear. So, yeah, we're going to change to the second internal combustion engine we have, if only our second race. And yeah, that's that done. We get an achievement for it. And now all we can do is hope for a very good race indeed. China, it's my worst track, but let's hope we can do, you know, better than our practice 3 and qualifying. Alright, so we're just going to take a quick look at the strategy before we start. I thought, I played around with it a bit, and I considered what I was going to do. I thought, I might start on the mediums and end on the super softs, but then I realised, of course, that the tyres are so durable this year that I could do essentially that exact same strategy, but start on the softs and end with the super softs, which of course gives me a massive pace advantage over the mediums. So, I decided to change my tyres. I start on the softs, and then end with a 5-lap stint on the super softs. That was the strategy I decided to go for, because I just thought, you know, get the soft out the way, and then when the car's nice and light and everyone else will be on the soft, I'll have a massive tyre advantage and pace advantage at the end of the race on the super soft. So yeah, pit lap 9 onto the super soft, starting on the softs, and that is our strategy for the race. If you actually compare the two, mine is actually quicker than the proper one. So yeah. Without further ado, let's finally get the Chinese Grand Prix out of the way, because, quite frankly, I want it out of the way. I hate this circuit. So, here we are on the grid, starting with 3, 4, 5 lights. And we're away. Is it a good start? I've got both Force Indians in front of me, although not anymore, because I've gotten Perez off the line. Next up is Esteban Ocon in the other pink Force India, but we're just going to have to slide in behind him for now, although we can go up his inside here. They've left a bit of a gap. Kvyat has blocked me off a little bit. Can I retain the position? No, Ocon has taken me, and Alonso's doing an Alonso and getting a beastly start as well, so I'm way back down into P16 where I started, so I haven't actually gained any positions off the start just yet. But can I dive bomb a few down into the inside here into Sector 2? Yes, I can, including my teammate Hulkenberg, who I'm looking to get past now, although he gets superior traction than me out of that corner. But we are up to P13 now, so we have made progress, and like we say, it is our teammate next up, and one of our goals is, of course, to beat our teammate. It's important for the driver rivalry and team approval rating, and also for like the overall driver reputation as well. Basically, it's a massive advantage for me to get one over my teammate Nico Hulkenberg. So it's cutting to the end of lap 1 here at the hairpin, and that's it. We've got him. Squeeze him out just a little bit to stop him getting a good drive, and that's it. P12 for us, and next up is Kevin Magnussen in his Haas car. Kimi Räikkönen is leading the race as he sets the fastest lap there. And now we're going to cut towards the back straight on lap 2, and Nico Hulkenberg, our teammate, is coming right back at us in the Renault. He goes up our inside. Hopefully we're going to hold it round the outside. Who gets the better traction? We just about get the better traction, and we hold up into the inside here, but we make a bit of contact. Hulkenberg very aggressive around our outside there, but we were having absolutely none of it, and we hold on to our P12. And now we're going to come on to lap 3, still catching up with Magnussen here, although Nico Hulkenberg again on the back straight. We've got DRS, but that's not going to stop him going up our inside just as he did last lap, and I'm not sure there's going to be much I can do about it this time. Try and go around the outside again. I very nearly hit the back of Kevin Magnussen. That was very close, and actually I do manage to get past Hulkenberg. I don't know how I managed that, but I'll tell you what, the team in the garage must be absolutely on the edge of their seats watching this with worry, you know, thinking that the two teammates, Hulkenberg and I, are going to, you know, hit each other off. But don't worry, we are not Perez and Ocon. We will behave ourselves a lot better than they do. But we're still trying to chase down Kevin Magnussen here. And if you look up ahead, there's a Toro Rosso getting past the Williams of Lance Stroll. So Carlos Sainz has made his way beyond this little train that Stroll is making. The reason there is a train here is that we are all stuck behind Lance Stroll. So Carlos Sainz has managed to free himself of this train. We're actually going to go up the inside of Kevin Magnussen here into Sector 2, and that is 11th place and our target position. So that was a very important move for our race. We've got a cars buffer to Hulkenberg, and we're in our target position. So now our race is going very well. And next up is Roman Grosjean in the other Haas car as we look to... Oh, we make a little bit of contact with him there, but no damage conceded, so no harm done. But yeah, we'll be looking to get past Grosjean and hopefully Lance Stroll ASAP. So we're going to go up the inside of Grosjean here. We've actually got... He's left us the gap, so we've got up the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the final corner now, and I think I'm just about going to have him. We're going to turn into the final corner. No! Grosjean! Grosjean's taken us out coming into the pits. We were on his outside trying to overtake him, but he was clearly programmed to come in for a pit stop, and instead of showing some artificial intelligence and continuing on for one more lap to save a crash, he decided to just take us out, and we have a red front wing. We're going to need to get that changed. We're in the pits. I haven't selected the tyres, so hopefully the game has selected mediums for me. Yes, it has, so let's hope that this pit stop is as good as it can be, bearing in mind there is a front wing change to be done. It's pretty slow. It's an 8.3, unfortunately. And that's pretty much race over. I'm not sure how much we can do from here. We're on the mediums. We're way behind the pack with that front wing change. And at this point, it's a recovery job. Damage limitation. I'm really not sure how much we can do from here. And just to add insult to injury, we go wide on that first corner as well. So we're going to do what we can to move up the field, but I don't think that we're going to do too well here. So unless we get a safety car is what we've got to hope for now as Valtteri Bottas exits the race. He had an engine failure, I do think. So just coming into the pit stop stages now. Wehrlein comes out just ahead of us as we catch up with him here, and he's going so slow. Wehrlein, get out of the way. You're going so slowly, and we just... Okay, I'm going to explain that crash. By this point of the weekend, after what happened in qualifying, what happened in practice, and what's happened to me so far in the race, with Grosjean taking me out, I was pissed off by this point in the race, which is why I made a very, very aggressive move on Wehrlein there. Could have conceded even more damage. I was just pissed off and was really angry at the game by this point. So either way, despite our troubles, we are still faster in a straight line than a McLaren Honda, so we use that to our advantage and overtake Stoffel Van Dorn for position 17. But yeah, just by this point in the race, I was just driving around, seeing what I could do, and just hoping against hope for a safety car because, you know, I'd had such a bad weekend. Everything that has gone wrong, well, that could have gone wrong, has gone wrong. It's Murphy's Law. So, yeah, I apologise for my aggressive, anger-driven driving, if you like. But we're still faster than the Saubers, at least, as you can see, because we've caught up with Marcus Ericsson, who, bear in mind, is on soft tyres. We're on the mediums and we've caught up. So we do have a significant pace advantage over the McLarens and the Saubers as we go up Ericsson's inside into Sector 2 for position 16. And I think that's about it, really, for our race. There's 3 laps to go. Alonso's quite far ahead, and there you can see our teammate. He's about 10 seconds ahead of us. You know, so we're not going to beat Hulkenberg, unfortunately, in this race. I think we're going to lose a bit of ground again in the driver rivalry. And here we are on lap 13, coming round this section of the track here. And as you can see, that's Fernando Alonso having reliability issues. Who knew? Who would have guessed that a McLaren Honda was going to have reliability issues? So that is position 15. We're beating both McLarens and both Saubers. So if you like, today we've been the best of the back markers, I guess, except Renault isn't really a back marker team. But he's not the only one to have reliability issues. If you look down in the bottom right here at our gears, we have lost gear 5 because of our engine issues that we've got now. We've lost gear 5. It's gear 4 and gear 6 now. So coming onto the last lap, it's not too big an issue. You know, we're so far down anyway. And I just had my engineer in my ear telling me that we've lost one of the gears due to severe gearbox damage. So we've lost gear 5, but at the end of the day, it's the last lap. We hold on for position 15, and, well, what more can be said than that was a frankly awful Chinese Grand Prix.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium, and as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So, yeah, that was the race. Very bad for us, but China is my worst circuit. We had a lot of bad luck, and it can only really get better from here. I do firmly believe that that is the worst Grand Prix we're going to have possibly in this whole you know, career mode with Renault. I'm hoping it is, because if it gets much worse than that, then it will barely be a Grand Prix. I just wish that the AI had shown a little bit of common sense and, you know, raced me with Grosjean instead of bringing him into the pits and just taking me out as I tried to overtake him around the outside. One piece of good news from this episode, though, as we look at the driver rivalry, we get a fastest lap, so we're actually still only one behind him. We didn't actually lose any ground in the race, which is good news. But the other piece of good news we got was that we now have enough resource points to upgrade the durability, because I can't be changing engines literally every weekend. So we do lose a bit more team approval and reputation, but as I say, it can only go uphill from here, so I wouldn't worry about it too much just at the moment. So the final thing we're going to do in this episode is have a look at the R&D tree. Now, I think I want to concentrate on durability, at least for this season, because I see no point in upgrading everything if we're just going to change it every single race and get penalties for doing so. So, with that in mind, I think it's a good idea to concentrate on durability and make sure that we're not changing engines and various other components every single race. I might change, you know, a load of that before the race. I might use it at the moment for the practice sessions, and then change it before the next race. But here we go, going into durability now. 500 points to increase the durability of all power units, all power unit components by 10%. I'm losing the ability to talk now. I've been talking for about half an hour straight, so that's not surprising, really, is it? So, yeah, that has been this episode of Career Mode. If you enjoyed it and you're new, please like and subscribe. Would really help me out a lot in terms of, you know, my own channel's future. And, yeah, we're just going to have a look at what else there is. Yeah, I think that one upgrades, like, everything at once, and then from there, there's that tree, and you upgrade everything individually in terms of its durability. So we will be looking at that quite a lot. We haven't got a single upgrade on the car yet, but I'm hoping that there will be some on the car by the time Bahrain comes along. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. And, yeah, this has been part 2 of my Renault Career Mode, and part 3 will be coming up shortly. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you guys next time.